Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to Improv Bible Study here in the Junk Shop Library. We will be turning today to Genesis chapter 32, where hopefully more happens than happened last time. Though I've wished before for more to happen in these chapters and gotten a monkey's paw kind of situation. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button, and let's see what happens in the book. We know what's going to happen when you hit the thumbs up button. You'll make me happy, and you'll get more of these more quickly. Genesis 32. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, "This is God's host," and he called the name of that place Mahanaim. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother unto the land of Seir, the country of Edom. And he commanded them, saying, "Thus shall ye speak unto my lord Esau, Thy servant Jacob saith thus, I have sojourned with Laban, and stayed there until now. And I have oxen and asses, flocks and men servants and woman servants, and I have sent to tell thy lord that I may find grace in thy sight." And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, "We came to thy brother Esau, and also he cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him." Then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks and herds, and the camels, into 2 bands, and said, "If Esau come to the one company, and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape." And Jacob said, "O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, the Lord, which saidst unto me, Return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will deal well with thee. I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies, and of all the truth which thou hast showed unto thy servant, for with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become 2 bands. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he will come and smite me, and the mother with the children. And thou saidst, I will surely do thee good, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude." And he lodged there that same night, and took of that which came to his hand a present for Esau his brother, 200 she-goats, and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes, and 20 rams, 30 milch camels with their colts, 40 kine, and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses, and 10 foals. And he delivered them unto the hand of his servants, every drove before themselves, and said unto his servants, Pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove. And he commanded the foremost, saying, When Esau my brother meeteth thee, and asketh thee, saying, Whose art thou, and whither goest thou, and whose are these before thee? Then thou shalt say, They be thy servant Jacob's. It is a present sent unto my lord Esau, and behold, also he is behind us. And so he commanded the second, and the third, and all that followed the droves, saying, On this manner shall ye speak unto Esau when ye find him. And say ye moreover, Behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the present which goeth before me, and afterward I will see his face, peradventure he will accept of me. So went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night in the company. And he rose up that night, and took his 2 wives, and his 2 women servants, and his 11 sons, and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them, and sent them over the brook, and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, as he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, What is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. And Jacob asked him, and said, Tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, Wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. And as he passed over Penuel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Israel eat not the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh, unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew that shrank. And that's Genesis 32. Okay, best understatement of all dang time. Genesis, 32nd chapter, verses 1 and 2. Pardon me. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. And Jacob saw them. He said, "This is God's host." And he called the name of that place Mahanaim. If you're on your way back, having narrowly escaped death at the hands of your interesting father-in-law, and anticipating that you might face death at the hands of your righteously indignant elder brother, and about halfway between those two, you meet the angels of God, your response is, "Check it out, angels." And you name the place where you saw them Angelville. For some of the other stuff that's gone over again and again and again and again in excruciating detail, you'd think that bit would merit more, but apparently not. So anyway, having glossed over his encounter with the host of the Lord, he sends messengers ahead to Esau and says, "I'm coming home." And the messengers come back and say, "Well, we checked in with big brother Esau. He's on his way here, along with a troop of 400 men. Jacob says, "Oh, heck." So he prays and reminds God that he's been guaranteed seed like the sands of the seashore, and that he has been blessed and assured that things will go well with him. But now his cranky big brother is coming at him with 400 troops. "Remember that I found favor in your eyes." And so he puts together the biggest bribe he's got on hand, hundreds of animals, divides them up into parcels, and sends them ahead sequentially with a message for big brother Esau saying, "Please don't kill me. Have some sheeps." And he gets to the ford of Jabbok and sends all his family and servants and livestock and so forth on across, and decides to take one night of me time in peace and quiet before, death the next day. And just as he's getting ready to go to bed, this guy walks up out of nowhere and provokes a wrestling match that goes on until daybreak. At which point, this guy who's wandered up out of nowhere and started wrestling with him says, "It's daybreak, it's time for me to go." Jacob says, "I want you to bless me. Everybody I get in a headlock has to bless me, whether that headlock be literal or metaphorical." And the man touches him in the hollow of the thigh and knocks his leg out of joint. Jacob still won't let go until he gets his blessing, so the guy gives him a blessing and a new name and won't tell his name and goes on his merry way. And Jacob renames yet another piece of real estate and passes on the tradition to his children that you don't eat the loin roast because Big Daddy Jacob got punched in the groin once years ago during an improvised wrestling match outside of the camp of his homicidal older brother. tradition. And that's it. The understatement of the year, the biggest bribe on record as of this point, the ford of Jabbok, and getting punched in the crotch by the Lord Almighty. Or at least who Jacob interprets to be the Lord Almighty, despite the fact that this could have just been some random guy who showed up in the middle of the night. This is a weird book. Alright. Well, hopefully there's more weirdness yet to come in Genesis chapter 33. I hope you've been enjoying what you've seen here so far. As always, make sure to check out the rest of the playlist for anything you've missed. If you want to stop missing things and having to use the playlist, just turn on your notifications. Hit the bell. And don't forget to subscribe. We'll see y'all again soon. Take care. Be safe.